Hello everyone again, and this time we will prepare the fabric for the basic skirt. Our dress form is size 6, and for the basic skirt pattern I usually go about 50 centimeters down from the waist, which makes it about almost 20 inches. For a regular body, it's almost hitting the knee or a little bit above the knee. So for the basic skirt with the 2 darts in the front and 2 darts in the back, very basic skirt pattern, we need 20 inches, let's say, plus 3 inches more, because we need excess fabric above the waistline and maybe a little bit on the bottom of the skirt too. So it can be 22 inches. Let's draw across. This time I will rip it for you. It's so fun when you learn how to rip the muslin properly. It's kind of like a stress relief. It's sometimes fine, but sometimes it's not fun if you are doing it in a different fabric and everything goes wrong. So always make sure you are doing it right. I need to press this so it makes it nice and smooth. And I am pressing 1 inch fold inside for center front and center back on the selvage of the fabric. So I already pressed the center front and the center back of the skirt fabric we will drape. So we have the length, now we need the width. So the first thing I will do, not from the waist, I have to find my hip line where it does hit on this length of the fabric. I will go and measure from the waist to the hip line. It's about 7 inches or 18 centimeters. So 7 inches plus 1, let's say 2, makes 9. It is 7 inches from the waist to hip line. And we add 2 more inches and it makes it 9. And we will draw the cross. This is our center front, let's not forget. And from our hip line, from the center front to the side seam, we need to measure from the center front on the hip line, taking the reference on the hip line, from center front to the side seam, we need the measurement, which is about 8.5. I will add at least 2 or 3 inches, 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, and 11.5. To just make sure, because we don't want a basic skirt that actually sticks around our hip line. We need a little bit of the movement. When we drape, we need a little bit of looseness around the hip line. So 8.5, like go somewhere around 12 inches. And go across down from there. Make it clear. This is hip line. This is my center front. And this is our side seam. So I will cut this, then I will have my muslin fabric to drape for the basic skirt front. Now I need the back. So we follow that line again to the back, and the front part was little narrower and our skirt in the back should be little wider because we have our hip rounder and it gives at least an inch or sometimes about 2 inches. We need more room. But I will go and measure the back from the hip line to center back. It's about 10 inches plus 3 makes it 13. So this is the hip line, the back, and again, use this, never throw this extra fabrics, but we need to have our straight grain. When you put this shows a straight grain, but again, to just make sure that we will not lose the reference or straight grain, so we know the straight and the cross. I mean, in muslin is always easy to find it, right? But for the other fabrics, if you cut the both salvages or if you cut the salvage off, you will always have a problem to understand where is your straight grain and cross grain. I would suggest never cut your salvage. But let's say you use a fabric and you lost the salvages and the rest of the fabric that you have doesn't have a reference point of the straight grain. Always have it. It's gonna make your life so much easier. Okay, our fabrics for front and for the skirt are ready.